to say Happy Memorial Day to all my U.S. friends. I know it's a time you remember those that have given the ultimate price for your freedom. So, however you celebrate or honor them, I hope everyone's having a good weekend. I was just going to throw together some dinner tonight, and I decided, well, I'm missing my friends, so let's do a little pop-up live while I'm making dinner. Other cupboards getting a little bare, so just kind of clean out the pantry and clean out the fridge kind of night. So we're going to make some cabbage roll casserole, because I haven't got enough cabbage to make cabbage roll, so we're going to do a little cabbage roll casserole. But first of all, let's see who's in chat. Sorry, I'm looking away because I got the camera already set up to move for the cooking part. We got Danny D in there. Welcome, Danny. She's jamming out to the music. I do too. I gotta get my head going, Bob in there. Hello, Moonlight Adventures. Hello, Josh and Chastity. We have Captain Billy J. Ahoy there, Captain. And everybody's saying hello. So I've got the oven preheating. It says 350. I just kind of winging it up, but I got a little bit of a recipe in my head off of the allrecipes.com for cabbage roll casserole. Got the oven preheating. It says 350. I did a little over 325 because my oven runs hot. And I'm going to turn on my burner to medium high, getting my pan heated up a bit. I'm going to turn off the camera for a minute while I move things around so I don't make you guys all dizzy. And I will be right back. I should keep chatting with you on here. Oh, we got the little penguin. He's cute. Okay, let's see if we can do this without kicking out the webcam. Yeah, that's a pain in the butt when it does that. And we just got to boost you guys up a bit. Remember the right dial on this thing. That's the right one. Here we go. You don't see it, but you're going moving up so that you can get a bird's eye view of the pan. We're good there. Here a little bit so we don't knock out the webcam. And then I'm going to tip you guys down a bit so you can see the pan. I'll turn this back on, make sure you guys are all situated. Give you a little bit more tilt down there. So first of all, just heating up I'm using the wok one today because my other one's getting kind of worn. It's sticking to the medium high. First thing I'm going to do, I have a pound of ground beef. Throw that in there. Break that up. I'm going to brown that. I was just looking at a basic recipe. You can add whatever spices you want, whatever veggies you want. If you're trying to hide some veggies for your kids or something, if they'll eat casserole. Now you can always grate up some carrot, grate it up real fine and cook it in there. I'm lucky. The ones I don't have, like the ones I have here, I don't have fussy eaters. My oldest was my fussy eater. They eat most things now. They at least try them. So I'm going to brown that up a bit, and then we'll throw in some other things with it. Turn this around. So always have your handles facing in. If you have it here, somebody's going to knock it. And I'm right-handed, so I'm using this. So I can hold it with my left hand. So I just taught us back in home economics or family studies, whatever it was called when I was in public school. Grade 7 and 8, we had to walk down to another public school nearby, and there's a home economics class there. And we learned to cook and sew and stuff like that. When they got in, No, I'm on in years, and we didn't get the opportunity to. The girls would do the home economics, the guys would do the shop, and then they started switching so that the girls would learn the woodworking and the auto mechanics little bits and all that kind of stuff. But the guys would learn how to cook and sew and stuff. But it's a good skill. Like, both of my kids have learned how to sew. My oldest wanted to create their own lark costume, so you've seen that furry creature? They made that costume. One of the first things. So they got a sewing machine that year for Christmas. My youngest bought a sewing machine. So it's good to be creative. Like, they do something like they rip the seam of their pants. What are you going to do? Throw out the pants? You can sew up that seam. So some of the ingredients I had half of a small cabbage, so I've chopped that up. You can add more or less, whatever your taste is. I have some leftover rice from last night. I don't have any tomato sauce, so I'm going to use a little spaghetti sauce. And I don't have any just regular tomatoes, so I'm going to throw in a little bit of Rotel. The spice stuff, then I don't have to add too many spices. So I've got garlic, salt and pepper. The only onions I have are, I had pre-chopped them. They're in the freezer with some peppers. I got some celery to use up. I'm going to throw that into, suggested beef broth, but I've got a little bit of chicken broth left. We'll use that up. First, come over to get this. What else do we got in here? Oh, there's Call Me Bee. Hello, Bee. Welcome, Moven Con. Making some cabbage roll casserole. Kind of doing clean the fridge, clean the pantry. Good thing this is pay week, so we can get some more groceries. We're just kind of trying to use up the stuff that we have. And I probably give the fridge a good clean out before grocery day. Okay, that's just about, I'm going to throw in the celery and the carrots, the onion. Just cook it down a bit. I'm going to drain the grease off. See a little bit, then grab it down. Like I said, you can throw whatever you can, whatever you got, whatever you want to use. You need to clean the fridge, clean the pantry. Go for it. I'm just going to grab my little thing for draining grease. I used to have two of these things, but my old one that was my grandmother's broke, so got this little handy thing. You just kind of put it on the side when you drain the grease. Everything doesn't fall into the sink. I let this bring up to heat again since there's still some ice in there. Maybe we'll drain off a little of that fluid. So now do a couple things. We're not waiting for all that juice to heat up. To heat up the meat and the veggies there. Slide a pan with a little wipe. There we go. That's on heat. I'll go do that now. I might give that a little bit more. I'm going to throw in some minced garlic. So I might as well use this up. My little jar of minced garlic is just empty. I had to admit, I'm lazy. I have other garlic in the cupboard, regular garlic, but I'm too lazy to chop it up some days. Time to get another jar of this. Get the last drop. I'm going to get all that garlic flavor, right? that in the sink. Mix that all in. Oh wait, there's more juice there. Juice. It's grease. Hello down under cruisers. How are you doing, Sean and Lana? Amanda just chilling. Welcome. Hey Busby. Might drain a little bit more of that. Then we're going to add some sauce. Toss it around with the other stuff, and then it goes into the oven. Just very carefully, because we don't want to throw it all in the sink. That would be a terrible waste. Okay. There we go. So I'm going to toss in that. Let's turn that back down. We're going to toss in our cabbage. Break up the rice a bit. Probably could have used more meat in this one. We'll make do with what we got. I'll go this way. Probably enough rice. I'd rather have a lot more meat, but we're doing what we got. So next thing I'm going to do is toss in some tomatoes, some sauce, some salt and pepper. Like I said, I'm not going to put it. You can add like cayenne and all that. Those kind of spices, but using the Rotel mild here, so it's got some chilies in it, so I don't want to get it too spicy. Although my son and his girlfriend wouldn't care, but sometimes I don't want to get too spicy there. We'll toss that. Let's add some salt and pepper. Oh, it smells good already. Just trying to decide which casserole it's going to fit in too. Two casseroles. This is enough. Okay. See if the other one's better. I don't know. Oh, I almost lost that. I'm gonna throw the whole can in here. Clean out the fridge, clean out the pantry. Once I get this in the oven, then we can sit and chat. I kind of learned this casserole from watching my cousin, because she went quite often when her family was younger. I like cabbage rolls. We had cabbage rolls a few weeks ago, but it's piddly sometimes to mix up the roll up the cabbage. Cabbage rolls we had were frozen ones from the grocery run I did. Switch over to this. I'm debating maybe a little bit of the broth, but I don't think I need too much of it. I'm using leftover rice rather than cooked rice. Now I gotta decide which casserole. I think the bigger one. I hope it all fits in here, right? I think we're gonna be okay. Let's turn off the burner. It's a little warm under my arm. Okay. Do that little wipe some more. But that was right up on the burner. And then it goes in the oven for an hour. So I'm going to set the timer for an hour. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And then after an hour, you stir it. And you see if your cabbage is tender or not. You can go up to another half an hour after that if your cabbage needs to cook some more. And then it's dinner. Give me a second. Got a couple things back here. And I will move you guys back down and we can chat. I can catch up hopefully on what I was missing there. I'll put a couple things away here. Let's camera down. And then I'll move you guys down so we can chat. Okay. Let's get the tripod in the way too so I can move my chair out. Oops. Oh, hello. Come back. Let's see the top of the head. When is dessert? If I had some other things, I have some frozen like apple pie filling, but I don't have anything to put it in. Otherwise, I would make something with that. Maybe next weekend we can do that. Let's put these legs down because these have got nasty points on them. Good tripod for outside. Low over in the wind, but those are kind of nasty looking toys. Okay, put that down. Okay, back up. Where was I? Cat and Billy J come in. Oh. I see Busby. Behavior Lock. Good day, Michael. Good day, Sean. Let's see. Kenny's coming in. Thank you. Good day, Sean. I know it took a long time to come up with a channel. I probably messed something up further. See who else. Anybody else I've missed? I'm thinking young casserole. Yeah, that was. You're pretty much sink casserole. Not much fan of cabbage, what wifey is. Well, you could, instead of putting cabbage, you could throw pasta in. So I wouldn't overcook it too much. So you want it al dente or less so they can absorb the juices. You'll just clean out the sink, clean out the pantry. And he's visiting with Papa at Spruce Pine. We'll say hello to Papa for all of us. All of us. Words are hard. I love cabbage. Well, it wasn't a fan when I was younger, but it's one of those things that grew on me because I had a mom that said, "You're gonna try everything that's on the table," and I grew a taste for most things except beets. Still won't do beets. Gotta tell Grandma I said hi. Oh, yum. Heck no, I'm not adding Vegemite. I don't have any here. Rotel secret in that sauce. Well, I have 2 cans of Rotel in there, but I usually keep them because I make corn and bean salsa, which is kind of my favorite salsa. I'm not a big one on the tomato stuff. With tortilla chips, fine, but when I'm putting salsa on a burrito or something like that, I'd rather have the corn and bean salsa. And really easy recipe to make for corn and bean salsa. It's like a can of black beans, a can of corn, drained, and a can of Rotel. Like usually drain it, toss together with a little bit of cilantro and squeeze the lime juice. Good and easy. He says hello back to everyone. I'm grabbing the antacid. What was it? Oh, yeah, right. All good after a little earthquake last night. I'm glad everybody's okay. Stop hurting. That was scary, I'm sure. I hadn't heard about that, Sean. I heard about it in a group chat with, was it Danny that mentioned it, or was it Busby? Can't remember. It's the best way to make cabbage rolls, quick and easy, and everyone can make them exactly. And you can add as much or as little stuff you want in it, or you can add whatever ingredients. Like I said, if you're trying to add some carrots, grate them up fine, cook them in there with the sauce. Kids won't see them. That's if you got kids will eat cabbage rolls. Gaviscon. Gaviscon is my favorite, but it has to be the butterscotch one. It's the one that works best. That's a fancy dish. I have 3 different casseroles like that. Oh, I have that one that's shorter and deeper, and then I got one that's longer and only about that deep. And then I got a bigger one that's longer and kind of halfway in between those, but it's got handles. It's got a plastic lid that goes on top, and then I have 2 round ones. So they're made by Corningware. There's a French white. All of them were wedding gifts. Most of them. I think the one with the handles I bought myself, and it also has an insulated bag that zippers into too. I like the white because it goes with anything. Whether you change your kitchen around, the baguette to chase it down. Yeah. I think I came to the conclusion today I got to watch the gluten again. It was just for midnight. I did feel a bit moved. Chris, you get your mind out of the gutter. Thanks to me, it bounced off my head, but got it. Okay. Oh, I'm glad you're okay. Hello, Amy. Is that work? I want to say hi. Let me say hello to everybody in there. Did I blanch my cabbage? Nope. Too lazy. It says to cook for an hour and then give it a stir, and if the cabbage is tender, then take it out. If not, give it another half hour. But you'll see everything else is pretty much cooked in that, so hopping your butt off. Glad you guys are okay. Hey, Sean, your bed was shaking. It wasn't. Oh my word. When is dessert? There isn't. I had dessert when I was out with a friend earlier. We're all good. To north at only 3.2. That's not too bad. Yeah, I probably had the stuff I could have made an apple crisp, but maybe next weekend. Do I have anything on next weekend? Oh, yes. I'm going to Poutine Fest next weekend. Sean, so more of a vibration than a shake. I know, right? It's a waterbed. Oh, you can get seasick in a waterbed with an earthquake. I'm staying away from bread now because my gut has not been good the last few days. Yeah, maybe I'm gonna make some apple crisp next weekend. I did make turnovers before with them. We had some of the same stuff, and I used the Pillsbury crescent rolls. They were pretty good. Hello, Linda. How are you? Hello, Paul. Welcome. Trying to catch up here. Like Couch doesn't like me. Yeah, sometimes repeats on me too. Everybody saying hello to each other. Just trying to make sure I don't miss anybody that came in here. Hello, Tommy. How are you today? How's things going? Hello, Rob. It was Busby. What do you blame on Busby now? Everybody blames everything on Busby. Poor Busby. But sometimes it is his fault, right? There we go. Everybody still saying hello to each other. Michelle just got out of work. Hello, Michelle. So how is everyone celebrating Memorial Day this weekend? For the Carver picked the shape of the Cabbage Patch. Ha ha. Oh, it lost its head. Couldn't wait. I'm eating cake and ice cream. Next weekend, puts in best. And then maybe we can go get some ice cream after that, or at least Froyo from my favorite place. Once we don't have that kind of coordination for us. A bunch of us. Yep. Hello, Busby. Hello, Paul. Hello, Danny D. I think we need to run early start. We'll be listening while I work. Don't work too hard there, Sean. He's the one who told us about grilling tomorrow. What are you grilling? I didn't see what's wrong with my barbecue because I couldn't get it to work last season, so I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's a propane in the tank. I'll have to double check that. So probably won't do too much. We usually grill. Whoop! Let me jump there. Just enjoying a nice 3-day weekend. Mowed the lawn today. Well, we got beautiful weather. We're supposed to stay this way most of this week and into next weekend. Might get a little cloudy next weekend, but not supposed to get any rain till after that weekend. So I'm hoping it stays nice because last year when I went to Putin Fest, we got some showers. I'd rather not get wet. But we'll definitely take some video. If not, go live. Show you we got a tray and we got the sampler plate. So B and Steve and I each got 3 different types of poutine. I don't even remember which kind we got now. I'll probably have to go back and watch that video. Did I do a video? Or just did pictures? I don't remember. I have to go back and look. But we'll definitely do a video. So today, earlier, I went for a ride with a friend I haven't seen for a while. He was he's the one that he has a greenhouse and he starts tomato plants and pepper plants and then gives me some. So I got tomato plants and did not get any pepper plants yet, but I think I got 6 or 8 tomato plants. I'm not sure what kind. I haven't taken a look yet, but this friend worked as a EA with special needs kids in the high school for years, and has one student that was a student that he worked with, kind of aged out, but he was also doing like some respite on the side for the family. And this is when he was younger. And then after that, kept doing respite for them and doing more stuff. And as the parents aged, and that they had the brother and my friend as guardians, and both parents have passed, and then the brother passed. So my friend is still kind of guardian because it's a young man. It's not a young man anymore. But this client is, I think he's actually going to be 55 this summer. So he takes him out usually every week. He's in a group home, but he takes him out every week and does stuff. He loves to go for a drive just around down the river. So he was messaging me that he's going to drop the plants off and asked me if I want to go for a ride with him. So I went for a ride. I didn't get a chance to do a video, but I got some pictures. So I'll probably, those who have my Facebook, I'll post them on there, or maybe collect a bunch more of the pictures, and then I'll do a short video of what I saw. It wasn't it was a long ride, but we didn't stop too often because this guy gets a little antsy if you stop too long. He said it's time to go home. So the client is Down syndrome, is blind. There's a few other things. So it kind of disorients him if you stop too often. And I had to make a pit stop too, so it wasn't too happy with that. But it was a good afternoon. I got to catch up with my friend because I really had only seen them before I went on the cruise and then for his birthday in December, and I hadn't seen them. And the chat on Messenger has been a little off. So it was kind of time to catch up a little bit, what we could. Gonna get together again soon, so we'll see. Might take 30-minute drive to Bucky's tomorrow. I wish there was a Bucky's near here. I think the nearest one is, what is it, Richmond, Kentucky? Can I meet the dogs? Whose dogs do you want it? Oh, it says an ADHD, so that's cool. I have 2 kids with ADHD, so I remember. So, sorry, answer message. I did. Just had a panic that I didn't put the timer on that. I did. Have you ever done that? I think you forgot to put the timer on something? Like yesterday when I was cooking stuff, I had that timer and I had the timer on my phone. And I ended up down here, so what did I make yesterday? Oh, I got a pack of, I had 3 great big turkey drumsticks, and I was like, what am I going to do with this? So I seen a recipe how to just roast them, so I just roasted them. I had a can of corn, can of beans in the pantry, and made some rice, and that's what the leftover rice was from. So that was dinner yesterday. I made I just rinsed the turkey drumsticks off, had them dry, and I used a spice rub I had from ribs I did a while ago, and just roasted with that. And then when they were done, I brushed them with some barbecue sauce. Just put them back in with the heat. I think I turned the heat off, just put them back in there while the rice was finishing, and they turned out really good. I have to try that again on some other stuff. It's a good spice rub. It's got it offline. Get what's in it. I can tell you. Give me a second. I can find some ribs sometime soon. I would love to make them again. This is the easiest ribs recipe I have. This is just a spice rub. Wrap them up. Put them on low oven for like 3 hours. I wrapped it in foil so that kind of steams on its own. And then I take them out of foil and brush them with barbecue sauce, and then you just broil them long enough to to kind of caramelize the barbecue sauce when they're done, and they just fall off the bone. So this is the best dry rub for ribs. And it's this website called Hey Grill Hey. Let's say Hey Girl Hey, but it's Hey Grill Hey. That's brown sugar, kosher salt, black pepper, smoked paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, ground mustard. It says cinnamon, but we're kind of iffy on the cinnamon. So celery salt and cayenne pepper. And it's really good. Really good. And just rub it on the ribs or whatever. Ribs are cooked at 275 for 3 or 4 hours with that rub, and then you take them out of the foil, put the barbecue sauce on them, and broil them for a few minutes. Take them out. Cut them. Oh. Yeah, ribs. Yeah, now you're talking my legs. I love ribs. I'd be good with that and making a potato and a macaroni salad. That would be a good barbecue dinner. If I figure out what's wrong with my barbecue, get it fixed, I could probably just do it on low on the barbecue wrapped in foil. When are you having this? I'll be right over. Yep. Low and slow is the only way to go. I wish, was it 3 or 4 weeks ago when the grocery store down the road they had ribs on special and they had the roast on special, and I got the 3 or 4 little roasts. I wish I had grabbed a couple more slabs of ribs, because I'm not kidding you, it was that long times 2, like 2 together, and I only paid $14, $15 for it. And I know that sounds a lot here, but like the price differences, I don't know how much would be for a thing of ribs over there, but meat here is expensive. I remember going over to Crystal's, was it before Christmas? Being Steve and I, and she got this great big long thing of ground beef, like the tubes I usually buy, but it was like this long, this big around. I think she only paid like 20 something or $20 to $30 in there. I'm like, I get a little thing. That little thing was $5. To get a 2 pound is 10. To get a 3 pound is 15. It's like, so we look for the sales. I buy a lot of ground beef though, but and to get chicken breasts, it's ridiculous. Turn that back. It's going ding on me. So who was grilling? Did they say what they're grilling? Tommy, here she goes. Oh, Paul said he was grilling tomorrow. Did he say what he was grilling? I don't think he did. Busby, I love good food. Me too. And Busby, as long as it's not green and come from the yard. Well, come on, Busby, you like zucchini. It's green. I'm going to try to grow my own this year. Again, I've got some seeds. I should get them started. Usually try to get the plants because they're easier, but I haven't got out to get that. And then I have to get more dirt. I haven't planted too much yet. I think a lot of it because usually my friend and I go out and do the greenhouse stuff, but he's been quite busy. He went back to work part-time and does like the 3 to 7 shift as a custodian in the schools, and then one day a week goes to chiropractic, morning a week goes to the chiropractor. The other morning goes for Reiki treatment. 2 days. Because he got COVID. He caught the bug, and he got what they call the long COVID, so he has long-term effects for it. So he's on respiratory therapy 2 days a week, and then the another day goes with this client to music therapy. So he's been busy, so I guess I have to wait till the summertime to do anything. Maybe chit chat with them, see if there's a weekend that we can go pick strawberries, because they'll be coming on in the next few weeks, hopefully. Because I would like to get strawberries and make some freezer jam. Grilled pineapple upside down, grilling upside down pineapples. Oh, that's an interesting way to cook them. Zucchini comes from the garden, not the yard. Well, some people have a garden in their yard. I used to. I used to get some decent zucchinis, and when we first moved here, I used to get some decent zucchinis. For the last 2 years, I got one or two. A couple of years ago, last year, I got nothing. And I got all kinds of blooms, but apparently with a zucchini, I got male blooms and I got female blooms. And if they don't cross-pollinate or you don't get enough bees around here or whatever, and I haven't learned the self-pollination thing. I was trying to look at them last year, but it seemed the female ones and the male ones weren't open at the same time. So how do you do it? And the female ones usually have the little start of a zucchini behind them. Food costs are getting ridiculous. No kidding. I don't know what they expect us to do. Price of gas went up, so they raised the prices of food because of the delivery costs. Well, then prices of gas came down. Prices of food didn't come down. Well, gas got up a little bit, not as crazy as it was, but it's like, come on. Pricing people out of a need. It's not a want, it's a need. People need to eat. And then the stuff that is cheap is the stuff that's really not that great for us. Like too much, all the carbs and the processed stuff. I didn't even check the app on my phone. I have one called Flip. I think it's available all over it to see what's on special. Let's see what's on my favorites. Insider's report from that one. Hot summer sales. Chicken legs. I'm not a big fan of chicken legs. I'll eat them, but I'm not a big fan of dark meat. I prefer white meat. Watermelon, $3.47, saved $3.52. Really? I went into the grocery store a couple weeks ago, and it used to be an average watermelon that we would pay maybe $3 or $4 for. $11 and something. I'm like, are you going to be nuts? I think I'm going to pay 11 something for a watermelon. And I see they still got big like the Oktoberfest sausages. Bacon's still on till the 31st. Any good meat? We need barbecue meat. You got veggies. Johnsonville brats. Not a lot of barbecue stuff. Come on, folks. It's barbecue season. Crazy. Yep. Everything's all the processed stuff. Crazy. That's not my favorite grocery store. I would rather go to Walmart. It's got more variety, but the closest grocery store is like 10 minutes down the road. Keeps going my eyes at result of Vegemite. I think I'll go hungry. After I decide between Vegemite and Spam, I'm going to die. I think I would try the Spam. Would you do the Vegemite? Yep, I'll take the Spam. I've seen a bunch of recipes. We were talking about one yesterday. I think I saved it to my phone, but I forget what they made it with, and they said, oh, you had to, you could use Spam. Just dice it up fine. I think I would do Spam because you can make it into a bunch of recipes. Nope. I'm gonna close that up. I see a bunch of channels I follow where the kids just love Spam, but they have little Spam special cutters to cut the little, almost like little egg or strawberry cutters with all the wires. They got ones for Spam. You cut it into thin slices, fry it up for breakfast. I'm like, no thanks. I'm not into a lot of canned meat, but I think if it came down to it and there's nothing else to eat, you figure out a way to make it. Like I'll eat the flakes of ham, but I usually mix it up with some Miracle Whip and a little bit of relish. It's like what they call the funeral sandwiches around here. One of those weird sandwiches they make at the funeral get-togethers. Sometimes I eat canned tuna. I'm not a real fan of canned salmon. I got canned chicken breast the one time. I opened it up. It smelled like cat food. And it's like, I couldn't eat it. We ended up mashing it up with some other stuff and fed the cats and the dog with it because it was like, I couldn't do this. I couldn't get past the smell. Just add bacon grease and you can't taste. I do have a tin of bacon grease on the counter. Although people haven't been draining the bacon grease into it lately. 1 second, I gotta go blow my nose. I'll be right back. How about I put a commercial on for you? Which one should we do? Christmas coming up. It's over a month and a half. No, 2 months. 2 months. So if you're interested, message me or I. Our emails are on our about page. Mine's myplanspotmama@gmail.com, and hers is beonnet@gmail.com. And if they get some information, some people have been asking. Some people have said that they're showing interest, but haven't messaged us. Some people we're not sure they're coming or not, so we gotta get a little bit more commitment, or we're gonna have to change a few things. So message us. I had canned pork just mixed up with other things. I noticed over at the Walmart in Port Huron they had canned pulled pork. Don't have that kind of stuff here. But if it's any good to mix it up with stuff, our own kind of sauces, that would be good, especially if you're traveling or whatever. But there's a lot of things you guys have we don't have, so I'd be interested in trying it once to see if I liked it or not. How much sugar is too much? I may have just exceeded my weekly recommended dosage. Really, Busby? How many more things of cotton candy have you been eating? That's pure sugar. There's no such thing in my book, Busby. What day was it that I went and got a few things just before LARP last weekend? I think I went on beginning of the week too. What did I have to get at the beginning of the week? We were running low on. And then I ended up getting a package of cookies, and I got two things. A package of wafer cookies, and they're gummy strawberries. That was my sugar for the week. I got the same things I think before I went to LARP, because bought a bunch of snacks, because if we're on team, they feed us our meals included. But in between meals and when you're up till all hours of the morning, you want something to snack on. It used to be before pandemic, somebody bring a bag of chips, somebody bring a box of cookies, somebody bring, and everybody put their stuff on a central thing and we just shared. But they don't seem to do that anymore. That was kind of fun, We bought a box with all those bags of chips or something like that. Just things to snack on, but I bought a bunch of snacks. My eldest usually tries to get healthier snacks, so it's usually meat sticks and dried mango. What else? And then buys Monsters to keep them light. Whatever. Thank goodness, I thought I had overdosed. Wafer cookies are bomb. Yep. Bomb.com. These ones were chocolate, but they're almost like a chocolate. They're like the consistency of a chocolate hazelnut, like the Kinder Bueno bars. But chocolate hazelnut cream. They were really good. And the other day I got a pack and I was going, I'll have some of it now and then I'll have some later. And I ate half the pack, and then a couple hours later I ate the rest of it. I was like, I hated myself because then I had no snacks for later. But oh well. Don't need the sugar. Don't need the sugar. But then also got more canned fruit or small fruit things or something. Sometimes I want something sweet, and that's this. I'll buy the odd chocolate bar too. Chocolate's my other weakness. So what kind of things do my U.S. friends, grill, barbecue, whatever, what are your go-tos if you have a barbecue? your go-to meats, your salads, your desserts. What kind of, do you do anything special for those? I know you got more celebration. Our long weekend last weekend, because Victoria Day was something, a celebration of Queen Victoria's birthday. Nothing goes on to commemorate Queen Victoria or whatever. It's basically a party camping weekend. Everybody gets, you know, everybody calls it May 24th, but it's on the 24th. And everybody, you know, they go camping and they buy a 2-4, call it a 24 pack of beer kind of thing. It's just a big party thing and shooting off fireworks. And there were fireworks last night, trying to figure out what the noise was. So, oh yeah, it's a long weekend. 8-pound bags of sugar last month there. You're not supposed to eat straight sugar. You don't eat it by the spoonfuls. It's for making things with, Busby. So it's the lady that puts sugar on her cereal. Depending on the cereal. Depends on the cereal. What don't I put? I'll put sugar on cornflakes or. So it's a slap in the face to the Queen. Well, Queen Elizabeth's gone, and it was to celebrate Queen Victoria or something. I don't know. I don't even think nobody knows. But you know, Queen Victoria's been long gone. Let's see. Queen Victoria. Queen Victoria. Let's see if it's spelled Queen Victoria. Former Queen of the United Kingdom. Queen of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland from June 1837 till her death in 1901. A reign of 63 years and 216 days. Yep. Not like anybody knows really anything about her. So, why we celebrate? I don't know. Be better, like, I know you guys have Memorial Day, you celebrate those that have served, that have passed, and then Remembrance Day, you remember those that have served that are still around. Am I right? I think that's what I heard explained. We do it all on Remembrance Day. May 24th weekend, May 24th, Victoria Day weekend. It's not really. Then we have a holiday also in first weekend of August, which is our civic holiday weekend, which, you know, wasn't sure when that come around either, but now in Canada or Ontario, I'm not sure, it's now, or maybe it's here in our town. They call it Alexander Mackenzie Day. Well, Alexander Mackenzie was our second Prime Minister of Canada. Alexander Mackenzie is buried in the cemetery here. More information on that? There's a video on Lakeview Cemetery when I talk about it. And then we didn't have a holiday in February, so they came up with Family Day. So we had a long weekend in February. Oh, Busby. I put sugar in or on everything. Busby. After we just came back from the hog trough, Golden Corral. I've only been to one once in Port Huron, and I believe it's closed. I always wanted to go back, but I believe they closed it. I don't know if there's any good restaurants in Port Huron anymore. Buffets are kind of become a thing of the past around here. Memorial Day is deceased veterans and Veterans Day. For the, you call it Veterans Day, we call it Remembrance Day. But okay, I get it. Anyways, thank yous to those who have served and gave their all. Appreciated. I know that's in the U.S. However, my uncle did serve in the U.S. Air Force. Don't remember the length of time. I know there's a picture around of him with his Air Force jacket and hat on. But both my mom and her brother were born in Detroit, and he chose to serve in the U.S. Air Force for a while. And then that's not when he was actually living in Canada. I haven't figured that one out, but he served in the U.S. Air Force for a while. And then when he came back, he decided to take his Canadian citizenship. My mom never did. She just stayed as a what they call it, landed immigrant now. Now it's a landed or permanent resident. Because my daughter-in-law has become a permanent resident. All the mumbo jumbo. They closed the hog trough near me. There was one in KC, Kansas City. There was a London dairy in Port Huron, and they used to have a ice cream dessert they called pig straw. And if you could finish the pig straw within a certain length of time, they give you a little button for it. I had one friend that did it, but that was good ice cream over there, but it closed. So he was smart and left the U.S. Well, the funny thing is, Busby, my granddad was a Canadian, and my Nana was American. And they lived in Detroit. My mom and my uncle were both born in Detroit. They came back across. My mom was 4. My uncle was 3. But they never, at that time, they never took the Canadian citizenship or whatever. And I forget how old my uncle was when he finally did his Canadian citizenship, but that was after I was around, so he had been in his 30s or whatever, but he had served in the Air Force. I think in a video back from around Veterans Day that there's a collage, and you can see him with the Air Force jacket and with the kind of a fur collar. That was my uncle. And I have a Canadian uncle too that actually served in the U.S. Army, and then that uncle's, both his kids have served. Both of his sons. He's deceased. He passed away from cancer. I was the first person I ever knew that had cancer. And then his oldest enlisted right out of high school. And the oldest wife was in the services too, but they both retired. The youngest son went to Royal Military College, came out as an officer, and he is still, I thought he'd call it serving or whatever, still considered part of the forces, but he actually works for NATO now. But he is over in Turkey. Haven't seen him since before they went here over to Europe, and that was probably almost 10 years. I think the last time I've seen him was when his stepdad died, and then like a year later, because they were in New Brunswick, they went over to Romania and then to Poland, each for a few years, and then to Turkey. Not sure what's going to happen after that. But their kids are both back in Canada, going to, I think the daughter's finished university and the son graduates this year. I've watched these kids grow up through Facebook. Grandpa was a veteran, uncle was a veteran, somebody's great uncle was. I have niece that's still there's currently in the U.S. Navy. Are there any other relatives? And then a couple friends of my youngest one is I don't know what the one is still in the U.S. Marines. He was, and then the other one just reenlisted to finish his 5 years, reenlisted to do another 4. So that's their connection to the military, or the closest connections. I know my ex's grandfather also served, but I'm not sure which branch. I think I got more friends through YouTube that are in the military than I did family. Hello, everyone. I got too much to what kind of stuff, Brene? Yeah. So the red, white, and blue. No, we're two separate countries, but we have a lot alike, a lot in common. I got a lot of good friends from your side. And let's see, what do we got? We got 10 minutes left, and then I gotta stir it and see if it's ready, or if I gotta cook it a little longer. How are we going here? We're at an hour and 9 minutes. I'll probably chill for a little bit, maybe another 20 minutes, give or take. See how everybody's doing. You guys gotta go off and do your thing. Go ahead. What is 80th Monaco Grand Prix? Whatever that is. I don't have my little search engine thing on the picture, and the bottom always has a picture outside, so I get curious what's so special this time. So we got some of you folks that are heading to Oregon in a couple of weeks. That'll be exciting. Someday, hopefully, get out to Oregon, but there's some other things right now. We got Ontario 23. Hopefully, M23. Then I gotta start saving my money because next year we got Kenny's Dirty 30 in Vegas, and then I'm going on Amy's Skirt Cruise in October to celebrate the 2-year. So that'll be fun. I would love to be able to go on Kenny's, but it wasn't. Reality kind of sinks in, and it's like, yeah, they don't have it in the budget right now to go that far. Ontario 23, yep. Camping stuff, knickknacks, mail I've never got to. See how sometimes little by little, yeah. M23, NO23. Looking forward to seeing you, Troy. It's been a while, almost a year. Have to rent a bigger van. Oh, going down the river with my friend, there's so many campgrounds down there, and looking at all the RVs along the way and just going, gee, that would be cool. That one would be cool. That one's kind of nice. I wish I still had my van. I really kicked my butt that I decided I wanted a newer vehicle, and that vehicle didn't last. So I wish I had put the money into fixing up my Windstar, because I could have made that into a little traveling camping van. It would have been fun, but lessons learned. I think I would have learned them when I was younger, but no, still learning lessons. This is smelling good here. It's making me hungry, so hopefully it's ready soon. Gotta check it in. Too close to get told it's 8 or 6. I'm at the wrong angle. It'll let me know. Whenever they're in 18 wheels for sale, just kidding. Oh, was it yesterday? Or maybe it was today when I was with my friend. Going down and past one of those big U-Haul trucks and going, that would be cool, right? I've seen more people and rented a U-Haul and camped in the one, but that's a little much. Little much. Yeah, cheap RV with a bathroom. Yep. Penny will be not much TP, a full bin of TP, and lots of garbage bags. Now, if I had a little RV of some kind, just a bed, a bathroom, a little cooking area, I'm good. I don't know. I got into watching van life stuff, and it kind of makes me jealous. I would love to be able to do that, but not right now. Can't do that right now, but someday, maybe. At least to be a weekend warrior or whatever. I have tents. I've been tenting it before. I have a cot. I gotta fix my tent though. Got ripped a couple years ago on the May long weekend. It needs to be fixed. Because I have to get it out and spread it out on the living room floor to do it. Or move all my patio furniture out of the way. And I don't think I want to do that. I did get it up this week. I don't know if we do this. I'll show you. So, patio furniture's up and out. So. The breeze has been a little chilly, so I haven't been sitting out there yet. And then I got tomato plants to put in bigger pots. I'm going to scoop out some dirt out of my big trough thing over there and figure out what I need. How do you deal with noise pollution? Being outside, way too much traffic and noise. I need to boondock in the middle of nowhere. I don't know. I haven't been boondocking per se. I think the last time I got close to boondocking was back in '89. We were going out to the Canadian Scout Jamboree in Prince Edward Island. I want to say Point Edward. Oh, the siren and the dogs. Prince Edward Island, and we got to, it was called Cape Tormentine or something. It was a campground right on this bluff, and you could see that because it hadn't built the bridge across, you could see the ferry. And we put up our tent. It was me, my mom, and my friend, because we were going to catch the ferry the first one in the morning. So we had made our dinner and did our stuff, and then went to bed. And we woke up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and the wind is blowing so hard that the fiberglass poles of the tent were bending, and it was literally coming down and touching us, the nylon of the tent. After a while, that we just we're all awake, and we're just screw that. We pulled our sleeping bags out, packed up the tent, threw it in the trunk, and we kind of boondocked the rest of the night and mooch talk, whatever kind of thing. We camped in the car for the rest of the night until it was time to catch the first ferry. And I was tired. That's the one time I actually had driven most of the way out, and this one time I had just got to the point, it's like, Mom, can you drive, because I can't keep my eyes open. But like Gondolaar, we sleep in a cabin, but I keep the windows open because I keep it cool, and the people are running around screaming, and I don't hear them. Once I hit the bed, I was so tired. Last time the tent was warm, my bones started playing snap, crackle, and pop. The last time I tented it was at LARP, but it's probably about 4 or 5 years ago, before the pandemic, and I hadn't gone much the year or so before the pandemic, because depending on my oldest schedule, that's my timer. So your organized kitchen, like, while Lynn kills it. This back here, yeah, it's kind of like a baker's shelf. It's actually just 4 shelves, but the wire shelf rack that we had got. In the house we were living in, we didn't have a lot of space for, we had cupboards, didn't really have a pantry. It smells good. So we kind of used that for the last few years to put stuff on. Let's see. I'm going to use to stir that. Use a spatula. I'm going to say that looks like it's done. Pretty much. Maybe? Trying to see the bigger pieces of it. Almost. Almost. I think I'm going to give it another 15 minutes. Oh, we have like a little closet over there that we use for a pantry for canned goods and stuff, and our cleaning stuff is on the bottom, and potatoes and onion bin is in there, and a lot of the canned goods and boxes of stuff, but our canisters are over here. My youngest one, he was in culinary management. He likes having things handy, so you got the measuring stuff, mixing bowls, got metal mixing bowls that are behind here. Let's see that there. When he was doing the culinary, he bought a big thing of the plastic wrap. It's at 305 meters, which say 300 yards, whatever, approximately. The thing lasted for like 3 years. We just bought another one. I think it's like $11 to $13. But it's handy there because just cover up whatever. We have all of our sugar, flour, pastas here, and then pots and pans are there, and then the frying pans, and another big pot in there. Our colanders or strainers are down at the bottom, so everything's handy. And the utensil thing, that stuff. He wants everything handy to the stove, so that's why everything's out there. We got measuring cups here. The glass ones are at that end, and then over here, I put a couple hooks. We got 2 sets of the metal measuring spoons. The thing I made to go on the cast iron frying pan because the handle gets hot, so it's like a little holder. And then there's another thing that I think my dad had made. Kind of interesting thing. Needs to be clean. It feels long. It grinds from. But it's like it has a little hook thing here. You can use it to pull out your rack in your stove, and then you can push it back in. It's got a little one on both sides. Or you can use that end too. Push it back in. I'm gonna put it over there to the side because it feels kind of grimy. Because it's right there by the stove and where it's all greasy. Oh, my fingers feel that way. Ew. It hangs there. This little cozy thing to go on the handle of the cast iron frying pan. There's a couple charcuterie boards up here. A grater. Just like having things handy. Ugh. It's another sticky spot. Yep, that works. So everything's convenient. And then when we moved in across the room where the little pantry is, beside it was a coat closet. And one half of it had some wire shelving in it. And it's like, we really don't have a lot of coats. So we put up a coat rack across or beside the bathroom with coat hooks on it to put our stuff on. And then I just got some more wire racks. We had some wire racks similar. And then I bought a couple more shelves because it just had a little bracket. My son had it in his bedroom closet at the old house. A little bracket, and you put these little things on, and then you put the little shelf supports on, and then the wire shelf. And all my big plastic bowls and my roasting pan. Big awkward stuff because I hate getting down in the cupboards trying to get the things out. That's got some appliances like the mixer, but you don't use that often. The rice cooker we do, but it's right in the front. But so the bigger appliances are down there. I like cooking. I just don't like to clean up. Neither does my son, so that's why we kind of butt heads because I don't like doing dishes, and neither does he. But if I want to do a live stream and then there's dishes in the sink, guess who got stuck doing the dishes? So, it gets done. I know there's some downstairs that he needs to bring up to do, but or that's what you're going to do. I don't know. That's up to him. So maybe figure that out whether it's going or not. Something my mom wants to do. I'm not going to show her. She'll make me do it. So we moved in here 2017. Like the kitchen that we had in the house. Actually, I can probably show you. I'm just gonna find my picture thing. My photo. If I can get it to come up. Okay, come on. Come on, down here. I can find the realtor pictures. I have the realtor's pictures that they took when I put the house up for sale. Okay. Bring that one up. And I'll come back over here to share it. Over here. Present. Share screen. So this was the kitchen. There's dishwasher there. Those are the two cupboards under the sink. Little tiny cupboard here to stick stuff in. So these three cupboards were like pots and pans and little appliances and everything. This was where kind of the dishes and the bowl, like our everyday dishes, glasses, cups were in these two. We had like bowls and casserole stuff in these two. This one was usually where the bread and your peanut butter and all that was, and then this one had some of the like pantry food. And then over the stove there was like, it was 3 or 4, but they were shorter cupboards like this above the stove. And one had spices. I forget what the other ones had, but like this, that was a limit on like our storage. So granted, a lot of stuff was cleared out by the time we took these pictures because we moved some stuff over. This microwave used to sit on the counter. It's on a microwave stand there, but this rack behind me used to sit over here on this wall here, and then we had a different table here. That's a view of the dining room where the table was. I do miss this house because it was. Oh, this really gives the no, because you can't see the. I can't see it. Didn't take a picture over towards the stove and fridge. I went with that color because I like it, picked it up in the tablecloth at night and thought I used a lot. That was the living room. That picture makes it really look big. There's a front hallway there. It makes it look really big, but it was probably, I don't know, 15 by 20. I still have that furniture. That was my room. With everything, all the dressers are cleared out. We just had most of our stuff was moved out. I think I was showing this one the other night. The colors of my youngest room. Wanted that whole room done in that color. I went, no way. So we went both of those colors. That was my oldest room, and it's 2 walls are just a shade off, like this wall and the opposite wall to it, and it was one shade, and then this was a shade darker. I went with the navy blue to. That was the upstairs bathroom. I renovated that, except for the tub, the original tub, but we had moved out for about a year. I was going to renovate it and sell it, and then kind of living with my aunt and my cousin. We were renting a place, and then the lady had to sell the place. And spending a year with them, I was like, I just kind of decided, yeah, we're better off on our own. So I still had the house, so I renovated the whole bathroom, except for the tub. Put new surround in there, new shower curtain. I love those ones because they bow out a bit, so it doesn't stick to you. But new floor, new vanity, and that. This was a basement. My dad put in that fireplace. My granddad had bricked that wall. And the people that bought it tore all that out. Real bummer. Renovated that bathroom down there too. And that was the other end. It was a long, narrow rec room. Yeah, I renovated this bathroom. It had Venetian plaster on it. It's not that yellow. And that's the outside. Oops. And it's sold. Huge kitchen. Both my mom and I was trying to kitchen. Hence trying to get rid of stuff. My goal, if I had planned properly, I wanted to take where those cupboards are. I wanted to take that area out. I wanted where the sink. I wanted to put the covers along that wall up to where that window in the dining room was. And then across from it, on the opposite wall, I wanted to put like a whole thing of cupboards and like tall ones and that. But never got around to that renovation. Oh well. I grew up in the house. My parents bought that house when I was 5 years old, and they were the first owners. It was hard to let go, but well, I wish I'd kept it a few years longer because it was. I sold it for $189,900 in 2017. And a year ago, the houses in that area were going for $549,000. It was like more than double. I was like, I wish I'd held on to it, maybe got a couple students or something to come in to share the expenses, but dang it. Because I would have had some money. I could have traveled. I could have given my kids each some money to put down for a house. But, let's say hindsight's 2020, eh? I would love to downsize. That's a lot more stuff. Okay, Busby. There's a lot of stuff that I have to go through yet. I've gone through stuff so many times. Back in, I was married for 7 years or so. Almost 7 years, but so I had my own household with my kids and that. And then 2006, my mom passed, and my dad had been diagnosed in 2003 with Alzheimer's. And he was living at home, so we moved in with my dad, and my parents had all their stuff. And I'm not saying they're hoarders, but my dad had a workroom by the size of this kitchen, and it's one of those that kept everything because you might need it. And then my mom's had all hobbies and scouting stuff and all this stuff. And the laundry room had boxes down the center. But had never got around to going through. I'm going to turn this off for now. So before I could move in, I had to go through all that clutter in the laundry room. The rec room was in under renovation because there had been mold issues, and my dad had ripped everything out, and my cousin and a friend were slowly renovating it. So it wasn't finished yet when I moved in. And I said to the movers, okay, I want the furniture put in the rec room, and I want the boxes put in the laundry room, but leave me a pathway to the washer and dryer. Over on the left, not hard. You can see a washer and dryer. When you came into the laundry room, like the furnace was here, and then straight ahead under the front porch was a cold cellar, and then there was a lot of big white space, and then there was a freezer, washer, and dryer. What did these movers do? They put everything that way and left me a pathway to the cold cellar. It was like, I don't need to get to the cold cellar. I need to get to the washer and dryer. It was quite the time, but going through all that stuff once, and then I sold a bunch of stuff off in a yard sale a while after that. When my cousin and my aunt and I were going to move in together, and I was going to fix up the house, put it for sale. And then at the yard sale, ended up moving back into that place because things didn't work out. I had come into a little bit of money when my grandmother passed, so I used that for renovations, and we moved back in there. My oldest got married in 2017. They decided to move out right at that time it was not economically feasible to hold on to it, so that's when we decided we needed to downsize and move out, and then there was more clutter to go through. It's like, oh, and there was stuff that's just in bins, like there's keepsakes and stuff like that, and I just, at the time, I couldn't bring myself to go through that stuff, so they are in bins underneath the stairway here in the laundry room. I'm glad everything's in plastic bins because there's been a couple times we've had water, but usually it's because the laundry tub flooded because something blocked the drain when the washing machine was draining, or the cats here decide to pee on some stuff, so it's keeping it's keeping stuff safe. But I really need to go through it. I know there's stuff I can part with. I know my dad has coin collections and stuff like that, and I've got bits and pieces in different places, and I would like to be able to consolidate things and, get rid of what I can, see what my kids are going to want to keep if I don't want to keep anything. I have so much scrapbooking and photos up in my room, and it's like, I don't know who's going to want that. Everything's today is digital, but I don't know. My oldest might, but then who knows? Who knows? Yeah. How do you pass that stuff down to your kids? They're really going to want it. A mess with clutter, but you never know. I mean, do something like my dad was hilarious. Like, his workshop was an unfinished room in the basement. Just your bare brick and wood studs, and then he had built like a workbench across the one end, a big post down the middle under the workbench, and he had a plug rigged up on there. This man, if a nail would hang something out, no, he would use a 4-inch, 6-inch spike. I don't know how many big spikes we pulled out at one point in time. My oldest was about 18. We ripped the bench and all these spikes out of there, and ended up painting a sealant on the wall. I never got around to fully renovating that room, but we painted a white sealant type paint on the walls. We put a area rug in there. We threw a bed in there and a dresser, and my adopted one claimed it as his room. And then, got rid of a lot of stuff when we did that. So that was there's times I wanted to take a match to it. Like, you wouldn't believe the garbage that some people would buy too. Like when I moved out with my aunt and my cousin, we had it was supposed to be a yard sale, but I think it was wet, if I remember right. Or it was supposed to be raining or whatever. So it was like the basement sale. So we had all the dishes and all that kind of stuff in the rec room there. And then where it was his workroom had all the stuff in there. And guys came in, probably for scrap metal, but they would come in and bought boxes. There were boxes of nails and random crap. And I'm like, okay. Guy goes, I'll take all this stuff here for $200. Okay, go for it. It was like, but it was one way to clear out crap. And then before we moved here, I had 2 yard sales. And the first one, and I'm sure it's a guy from a flea market company. He bought the bikes. He bought a lot of the Nerf guns and some of the kids stuff too. So I'm sure he bought it at a cheap price. But it's like I didn't have to haul it to the Goodwill. So all right. At the end of 2 garage sales, I still had 2.5 vanfuls to haul to Goodwill. So first yard sale, I think I made $400, and the second one was maybe lucky to get a couple $100, but it was a little extra money, and it was stuff I didn't have to worry about moving. But there are a couple of things I'm going, why did I sell that? Like, I wish I didn't sell that, but oh well, too late now. Anyways, we'll go for a few more, and then I'll probably call it and have dinner. Well, it was pretty much done. I'll just let it sit in the warm oven and then it should be done. My youngest went down for a nap anyways. It's his day off and one of the cats woke him up early. That's what it was. Hello, Ron. Oh, trash. So I had cleaned out the van once. Big trash bag. It wasn't trash, just crap. I threw it and found $36. Look at that stuff in the corner over there that came out of my Equinox. I got stuff in the basement. When I had to tow the Equinox to the scrapyard. I'm still kicking my butt on that. I wish I had saved that money and put it into the van and kept it going a few more years. Lesson learned. Expensive one, but I found out I don't use the vehicle a lot. I can usually borrow my aunt's for a while, or I can walk, or there's public transportation. I am too cheap to take Uber or a taxi though. And it's $3 to get on the bus, and I can transfer wherever. Get a little drive around. See, one of these times I was gonna do a little video traveling around. I always got the wrong seat on the bus. It depends on what time of day, because we have a college and there's a lot of college students. We'll get on and it's really packed. And a lot of our college students are Middle Eastern or East Indian. So they seem to like to rent a house and 6, 8, 10 of them will. So there's a lot of students. I could actually walk here to the one bus terminal. That's 10, 15 minutes, but I'm lazy, so I walk over this way to the next block over and catch the bus to go over there and transfer to whatever one. Just sometimes coming home, I end up taking the one that comes around here, goes from that terminal all the way uptown and around before it gets to here. So it's a little extra time, but I think next Friday I'm gonna go buy some bus tickets. I think it's $18 for 10. So it's like what, $1.80? Oops. Get the calculator. Yeah, $1.80 a piece rather than spending $3 every time going on the bus. Because half the time when I decide to want to go on the bus, I'm trying to scrounge for change around here. And sometimes don't have it. That's why I end up walking. Or putting things off until I can borrow my aunt's car. Which I have to ask her if I can borrow the car next Friday. But I found out I really don't go a lot of places. I can walk 10 minutes. Well, it's not 5 minutes for my son to walk down the road. It's 5 to 10 for me, but to the grocery store. There's also a pharmacy down there. There is a Subway, a dispensary where he's working now. A little bit further around the corner is a Tim Hortons and a variety store. Like, you don't have to go too far. Maybe walk 10, 15 minutes. The other night I went to the show with my son's girlfriend. Walked out to the mall. That was fun. It's a bit of a hike. That was a bit of a hike. It's like, I figured out it was like 2 miles each way. It took us about 25 minutes. My legs were jelly after I got home, but we went to see Guardians of the Galaxy. It was pretty good. I'm not big into the Marvel movies because I really don't sit down and watch them. I meant where I was more into the stuff like Lord of the Rings and Hobbit, that kind of fantasy kind of stuff. A little bit like little Harry Potter and stuff, but I was not even really big into Star Wars. I watched the very original 3 movies, maybe 4. I had the DVDs. I haven't watched them. Whereas I'll watch Lord of the Rings over and over, and watch some of the Harry Potters over and over. Just if you ever find the secret to downsizing, please share. Never, especially when you can't get rid of it. I'm going to do it because they don't make anything bigger than an 18. When my youngest does move out, I can go through a bunch of my kitchen stuff, and part of that will go. I did pack up some of my dishes because I had a full set of 8, and then extras. I just found when dishes don't get done, that full set plus it's just a lot more. So I packed up the one full set, and then I had a set of good Tupperware that I packed up too. It's like I'm just gonna keep it put away for now. It's just more dishes that we don't need to. I really want to get ambitious and go do that laundry room one of these days. Maybe a plan for the summer. Do a bin at a time. See what I want to keep, which I don't need to keep. And there's a bunch of stuff that's down in the basement too that needs to get hauled to junkyard. Like a huge projection screen TV. There's one couch down there that's falling apart. It's got a board underneath it. One of those mini fridges that doesn't work anymore, but we can't throw big things out to our dumpster like we used to with the old company. So I have to see if sometime that my oldest can't borrow the truck from work and get a couple guys to haul it out to, because there is one. The depot is a dump that you can take electronics and metal stuff and to take it out there. It gets a little bit of money for it. Although for a 32-inch screen TV, we got like a whole $2. I think it's not a couple of things we took out at one time. I think we got a whole $2 and something. But oh well. At least it wasn't going to the landfill. They'll take it apart and scrap whatever wires or whatever. But hey. But I got things that are around there still my parents, like this table right here. It's a maple circular table that's in the the piece that goes in to make it bigger. Duh. Solid maple. And it's been my parents got it when we lived in Montreal, so I was 4. So it's over 50 years old. 3 of the captain's chairs are still good. 1 broke. I have my grandparents' little deep freeze. Let's see, my grandmother passed away. My father passed away in 2010 September. She passed away February 2011. So that's 12 years ago. Yeah. And she had gone into the nursing home before that. I know she was in the nursing home in 2007. I got a picture. So that come from their apartment before 2007. So you would say it's like 2005. So it was like almost 20 years, but probably about 20 years old. And it's still going. Like, they don't make things like they used to. I have a microwave. It's a wedding present. My oldest is going to be 29, so it's 29 years old. Still going. But yeah, you buy other things and poof, a year, 2, gone. Grenade might help. I didn't think I would go to jail. I would have tried that a while ago, Grenade. We can just say, oh gosh, I blew up and get home something. Yeah. I have thoughts about things like that, but we won't tell anybody. What was I thinking about? I was thinking about a place. Where was it? What was I thinking of? Those places. piece of crap or something, and it was like, until somebody just take a torch to it. But I can't remember what place that was now. Guess it wasn't important. Good thing I don't remember. Bad thoughts. It's gonna drive me nuts now until I figure it out. What was it? Oh, it's gonna drive me crazy. Oh well. We got 7 more minutes to the top. It's a 2-hour thing, and then I'm going to call it, I think, 6:30. So this week I'll be doing Pride. And I'll explain why on Thursday. So if you want to celebrate Pride or discuss stuff about Pride, diversity, feel free to join us. If your opinion's different, you can have your opinion. I'm not going to debate stuff. I'll explain that stuff too. And then the next week will be, I think we're making, back in the kitchen, making creamy chicken corn chowder. That's what it was. Then we got some oil stuff, and then we got fried chicken corn chowder. Oils. We're here with the 4th week, and then the last week will be going to do a DIY craft. Why aren't you going to make us wait till Thursday? No, I'm not. This is not Pride Month yet. So I'm not talking about it or celebrating it yet. And I'm an ally. I just leave it at that. Although I wish I was making the soup this week, but let's wait till payday. What else? July, we're going to do making tacos. August, I don't remember. July, making tacos. Gonna do my taco season, which is right there. Probably by July, I'll need to make some more. Yep, it's getting down there. That's like more than a quadruple batch. I usually do a buy about 5 or 6, never. My mom just called, said Amazon just delivered her cookbook. What? I don't need any more stinking cookbooks. I don't use the ones I got. I got one because I thought I would like it, and it was like the recipes I looked at, and I was like, nah, probably something. So my youngest will probably take them. I had one my parents gave it to me. I was probably 18. Like, I'll have to learn to cook someday. I was already cooking. And I taught my kids how to cook. Starting when they were like 8, 9, 10. Like grilled cheese and learning how to make Kraft dinner, like mac and cheese and oatmeal, instant oatmeal in the microwave. So like, I knew my kids weren't going to go hungry because we always had those things in the house. And my youngest could make scrambled eggs. My oldest didn't like scrambled eggs, but we made pancakes from scratch. So they knew how to mix that up too. So, and then they just gone from there. And actually, my kids are better cooks than their partners. But I'm glad. I know they won't starve. And my youngest is creative when it comes to cooking. I made those cookbooks. I've shown 2 times for the kids. And then this notebook I got was a blank notebook at the beginning of the pandemic. And then my youngest and I were trying different recipes. So each time we tried a recipe, we wrote it in here. So once we have 2 more often we're flagged in there. You gotta learn sometime, so I'm glad they learned early how to cook and different aspects of cooking. And my youngest, I'm glad can throw stuff together and make something really creative. Sometimes he gets a little heavy on the chili pepper flakes or other spices. But I like a little heat. I like to be able to taste stuff, not have it so spicy that I'm like, or taking a bite and drinking water. Anyhow, we got 1 minute. Last minute to play. I'll be back Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern, and dropping all kinds of LARP shorts right now. There'll be some longer ones. I'll maybe throw in a few of the Kenny's trip to Toronto and Niagara Falls amongst there too. But I hope to get out a little bit more, especially this summer. I'll probably get out more on my friends who's the custodian is going to be off, and then do some more videos and stuff. But I've seen some cool birds and stuff today, so that was. I'm at the point of slap it between two. I had a lot of breath in the last couple of days, and my guts hasn't been great, so I'm thinking I'm getting sensitive to gluten again or whatever. But we'll see how it goes. There's no gluten in that dinner except for the rice, or not right. It's different. The rice doesn't bother me. So, anyways, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Have a great Memorial Day weekend for my U.S. friends. Be safe. Love y'all, and see you on Thursday. Bye.